Hey guys, what's up? Alright. It's Double Deuce back with an update on the V12 build. So, grab your favorite smoke, beverage, popcorn, whatever you want to do, and hang out with me tonight. It is 8:35 right now, and my day is finally done, and I get to play now. So, I'll throw in a couple hours, jump in the shower, shave, and get some well-needed rest. So here we go, guys. So today's episode's about be cool. Whatever you do, you gotta be cool, right? So I've been talking about a radiator for the 5th and quarter scale cars that I've used for a long time. Okay, now you probably don't see a lot of them in my builds, but I use these. It's actually a test thing, and they work out pretty well, actually. Actually, I have one in my 62 Impala bubble top build because it looks super scale. So, there's a price to pay for scale, okay? What I'm getting at is you're going to have to alter this just a little bit to fit your rig. This fits up front here, and it fits right on the frame rails, and it looks like a super heavy duty cooling. It's actually a 16 core radiator, where the radiators we've been buying are the computer fan water cooling radiators. This is only an 8 core. Now when you look at the difference between the size comparison here, that is a radiator. It's aluminum, it's made of metal, it has an inlet and an outlet, and it comes with the tubes, which I take out. You can keep them in there if you want. What I did on my 62 Impala, I cut one off and I JB welded just a flat piece of aluminum square over top of it, because it has a hollow, kind of an oblong shape inside it there. And the JB weld is good to about 400 degrees, and if your radiator gets to 400 degrees, shame on you, you know. The other side, I'll cut it down and I'll put a cap on here. You know, I'll just put a cap that turns and twists into place, and that's easily made. Not a big deal. You can take the pipe that comes out of this. It comes with 2 tubes, and the reason I like these is because they're not lightweight computer radiators. These are heavy duty car radiators. Now this radiator actually came out of I think it was a 2010 Honda Odyssey rear heater core. That's what this is. A 2010 Honda Odyssey rear heater core. It was a whole $38 and free shipping on eBay. So now the tubes that come in it, I'll probably use them for exhaust parts, because they have some nice tight bends in there too that we all can use for our exhaust system. So, but anyway, show you the size comparison. You see it there. Huge. Now, another thing I wanted to get to, I'll move the table around here, the round table. I've got my V12 mounted, okay? Now, they have a new CDI unit, so I'm kind of torn on, because I like a distributor, but the CDI units are so much more reliable. And the thing is like, I may convert to that. And if I do that, that means that this build's going to go away for a while. Because I'll probably send it back to the company, because they want to re-inspect the engine, and you know, whatever they want to do, I don't know. But you know, that'll be that. And you'll see I got a bunch of clutches here too. So anyways, the reason I'm all grubby, unshaven, and all this stuff is because this week I totally devoted every minute of my free time for this build right here. I want to make this V12 the first RC engine in an RC car out there. And I know my brother Steve down there at RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7 in Australia, he's doing the same thing, man. It's like, the problem with this engine is you cannot put it down. It's like when you first discover masturbation. You know, you just can't let it go. You can't let it alone. Every time I start working on this, I got to hear the thing run. And it is so cool. It's just like really cool. Speaking of cool, now, these engines run hot. So this is a gauge. Okay, it's an electronic meter. And it has a temperature sensor here. And it has a bunch of probes inside it. And one of my other subscribers had come up with this earlier, and I highly suggest, to protect your engines, use these, okay? What this does, it has all kinds of settings on here. You can set your, it tells you what the temperature of the engine is from the probe, right here, which you put inside your overflow tank or whatever you want to do. And you can bring 12 volts on the ground to it, and it'll work. It'll read this, it'll work. It'll also give you an option in here to start your fans at whatever temperature you want them to turn on and off at. So these are really cheap. They're wicked cheap. I'll try to find a link. I bought like 7 of these, I think, at the same, at the time. And but if we're upgrading to bigger boy toys, we have to upgrade to bigger electronics too. So always keep that in mind, guys. Now, you guys see this build. It's got full wheel disc brakes. These are off the Roven. They're built in Germany, and the axles are, I think they're built in China. These are the RC four-wheel drive Yoda 2 axles that are quarter scale, which they don't make no more. I wish they would bring them back. Timing is everything in our hobby. They come out, they were going to make a full gearbox for this too, with these axles, and it just kind of fizzled out, maybe because of lack of interest or whatever. But the thing is these companies, they have to realize that just because they put something out there that they want you to buy at the time, it doesn't sell. And then, seriously, like 10 years later, it's popular like no tomorrow. These guys have to figure it out and say, hey, you know what? Let's bring those back again. Apparently there's a company out there that has all the CNC machining programs for these axles. And I will guarantee you, it's probably in China. And let them say, bring them back. Everybody needs a set of these right now. So I've been working on a clutch for this thing, and I know that I probably shouldn't go here, but my thoughts for this V12 would be, anybody ever watch the F1 series and all that, when these things ship like bang, 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 bang? So in order to do that, you need to know the RPM of the engine, the torque, all this stuff, which I have nothing on here. But I know from what I have seen, this engine is just top notch. It's wicked cool, So I come up with my own fully adjustable clutch shoes. It's a 3-shoe clutch with clutch shoes. And I used the Roven clutch bell with it, drilled a couple of holes to balance it out, and I'm going to show you guys what I come up with here, and this is what I got. So you'll see, I took the Sen, this whole frame and everything was built off the Sen GSTE Colossus. And let me move my light out of the way here, pull my camera around so you guys can see this. I'm going to give up my studio secrets here. Anyways, this is built off the Sen GSTE Colossus 7.7 5-horse nitro engine. Now normally this would be back this way, so I turned everything around, re-drilled holes, and it was a nightmare. And then I took the Rovin clutch plate, as you can see, and I mounted it here at the start, and now I got to mount the other side to the frame. And you know, there's a lot of work involved here, guys, especially when it's seat of the pants, because a lot of people don't understand. You can make a bracket that fits perfectly, and it is centered on the crankshaft. As soon as you weld it here, it warps. It just goes totally out of whack. So that right there was one of my biggest challenges this week, to make this thing fit, work. So I'm going to have a V12 with a 3-speed forward and reverse gearbox that shifts automatically, that I can fully adjust, because if you see here, down in there, every clutch shoe is adjustable from the clutch to here inside. Now, one thing that I kind of ran across was I was just sitting here fiddling around one night, and I thought, you know what, like, I have one of the Sen double clutches, one, and I always kept it around as an extra, you know, but they don't really wear out, but they're harder and hench teeth to find. And it fit over top the Rovin, you know, bigger tooth gear there. And so now I put a screw in there, because it's a 5mm hole, 5mm bearings, everything fit right tight. So I'm going to put a little slipper clutch in here too, just because. That way there, it'll protect the gearbox, you know, it'll protect the engine, and it'll protect the drivetrain. So there's nothing wrong with a slipper clutch. I was always against them all my life, but the thing is like, now that parts become harder and harder to find, you need to protect your builds. But anyways, I'm going to cut this bracket off here. I'm going to clean up the frame. I've never painted this frame, and I'm going to re-arch the front springs. And I had a lot of comments on I should go to link suspension, but I just want a real leaf spring truck with a V12. You know what I mean? So it'll be the only one ever built out there, and it'll go, you know, we'll just do what we got to do. So I got fuel hose today. It came in the mail. So now I can hook up my fuel tank here. This is a Baja fuel tank. I made it fit the frame perfectly, and it bolts in nice and snug. And I'll run that to the carb, and we'll go from there. So now the Blast of Me build with the 426 Hemi over there. You'll see that I do have some tube steel that I finally found that I can afford. I went to Home Depot. I usually buy everything from, this whole frame was built from Home Depot. And I had some leftover stuff here. And this is 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch tubing here. And anyways, I went to go buy some of this stuff, because I usually add this to my builds. And this year I paid $9 for, like 2 years ago. And right now I think it was like close to like $36 for this one piece of 4-foot 1/2 inch tubing. Now the 3/4 inch tubing that I use for my frames, that was $96 at Home Depot. So anyways, visit your local Ace Hardware, and get online, do some shopping, because there's no way I was going to pay $96 for that piece of 3/4 inch tubing. You know what I mean? I mean, the guys at Home Depot, you guys must be sniffing glue or something. Anyways, I went to Ace Hardware, and I bought this for $19, so $18.99 plus tax. Actually, I got everything I needed for less than what they wanted for this piece of tubing here at Ace Hardware. So always visit your local hardware store, support them. And if you want the radiator, I'll put the link below. I will put the link below for the V12, and like I say, it's a build in progress. So, but like I say, I'll probably see what's going on here with this. If I'm going to convert it to the CDI unit, or they call it an MCI unit, I think, and it eliminates the distributors. So we'll go from there and see how it goes, and which gives me time to get on the Blasphemy Hemi build. So, all right, guys, I wanted to make this short, sweet, whatever. You know, I've done a lot of research for clutches and everything else. The 4-strokes, they have a low RPM engagement. These are your Baja 5B, B5 Rovin clutches. They got a massive spring in here. These don't engage till 6,000, 7,000 RPMs. These only rev to about 10 or 11, you know. And so how do you find the sweet spot? You make your own clutch. That's what I did. I will do a segment on the clutch, how I converted it. You can use this clutch on your Chuan V8, your Chuan L400, because that's what I originally made this clutch for, was a Chuan L400. Until the crankshaft debacle came out, and now they have a new gasoline version with a center bearing. So look into that. Go to sterningkit.com and read up on it, because like I say, the L400 was just, I liked that engine. It was right size, had a lot of power, everything was cool. And now they're going to make it into a gasoline version. Yeah, that would be cool, because the nitro was tough on the wallet, you know. So, anyways, I'm going to get back to this build here soon. And the Camaro, the Chuan V8 Camaro, is en route right now for everybody who was wondering about it. So, anyways, guys, like, share, subscribe if you want. Love to all. And I'm going to go in and defunk myself and get a shower and call it a night, man. Maybe have a couple of Coca-Colas. So, anyways, be cool.